Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. I took a few days off, but now I am back, and it feels good to be back. I missed you guys. There's a couple interesting things I want to show you guys today. We've got some UFO sightings, but I also wanted to show you some very interesting new technology that is being utilized by the military that was recently released. And you may have heard of this or seen a report on this, but it's pretty scary when you think about it. Well, depending. It's kind of cool, but it's kind of scary how far we've come. But the MOD, or Ministry of Defense in England, has just revealed this sort of Star Wars style laser that will be able to melt aircraft and drones and slice through armored vehicles, and eventually will be used as an alternative to missiles. Now, the stills that you're seeing here are from a recent YouTube video that was posted on the official Ministry of Defense YouTube page, and I'll put the link to this down in the video description. So what you're seeing here is this laser, or a prototype of the laser, that was able to melt through an 82mm mortar in mere seconds. And you can see this molten metal laying on the ground here, and this giant hole where this laser is shining through. The MOD announced a $30 million contract to build the laser-directed energy weapon in January, and uploaded this footage of the prototype just earlier this week. The invention was able to melt this mortar here, as I said, in a matter of seconds, and the design will take about 5 to 10 more years of research, according to the Ministry of Defense. And although it's in its earliest stages, well, according to the Ministry of Defense, they do say that, quote, its capability will be incredible when it's finished. Here you're seeing an article that came out around early January 2017, talking about how the MOD had been awarded the $30 million contract to produce this prototype. And it's called directed energy technology. And so, not too far in the distant future, they're going to be using this thing to destroy drones, aircraft, missiles, mortars, roadside bombs, and, well, people, I'm sure. And, you know, when stuff like this comes out, it really makes me wonder, are they just telling us that this is new technology? And we've spoken about this many times before. I think that most militaries, especially the United States and England, are about 30 or 40, maybe even 50, some people say, years ahead of where we are now. And they just kind of slowly drip feed us this technology over the years and pretend like they're just now developing it, when in reality they have had it for decades. As far back as 2015, the company Lockheed Martin tested what was at that time called a terrifying new laser weapon that was able to melt out the engine inside a truck from miles away. And you're seeing the demonstration for that here. So this was in 2015, so 2 years ago. And yet the military is acting as if this is something new, that they're just now developing. We have shown pieces of UFO footage in the past where it has looked as if these lasers, whether they are being fired from Earth or maybe being fired from a satellite in space, but we've caught them several times. If you remember this piece of UFO footage here, this is one of the most famous. And, you know, many people have said that in this footage, you will see some sort of laser or direct energy weapon being fired at some UFOs in the distance. You see sort of this flash of light here, and after the flash, you see these objects in the distance here suddenly jet off into space. And some people have theorized over the years that that's what this was. And then we've had more recent sightings of what looks like laser technology of some sort captured from the International Space Station, cameras. Last year, we posted a video and featured this clip that you're seeing here. This is a still image where the International Space Station was going around the Earth, and very quickly, very suddenly and briefly, we saw this massive green laser-like beam shoot up from the Earth out into space. And at the time we featured this, we didn't know if this was indeed a laser. We didn't know if it was some sort of portal, just some sort of strange anomaly. You know, we didn't know, but most of the people who looked at it said it looked to be a laser being shot from Earth. And you know, there's types of lasers for every type of visual spectrum. Ultraviolet, infrared, some of them you can see, some of them you can't. And honestly, I mean, I think that we have had this technology for many years now. Here's another clip from the ISS, again captured about a year ago. And once again, this time we see, just for a split second, another one of these laser beams, or beams of light, that looks like it may have hit something, because in this footage, we see it, and again, if you look here, it actually looks like it's going behind the Earth, as opposed to coming up from the Earth. So I don't know if this came from our planet at all, but you can see this sort of red circular object at the end of it. And, you know, it's up for interpretation, but again, I just wanted to give you a few examples where it looks as if some sort of laser technology, or at least what looks like that, has been seen in space. And, of course, we've had information leaked from former government insiders over the years who have done various interviews, who have also indeed said that the technology we have is not only 50 years more advanced, but we are also harboring alien technology, whether that was given to us as a part of some deal back in the 1950s, or as part of some back engineering of a crashed alien craft. So I have no doubt, but I did want to show you guys this new laser weapon they're testing. And, you know, you can only imagine what the technology is going to be like in the next 20 years. And hopefully we won't be wiping each other out and destroying the planet. So another thing, something cool that I wanted to show you guys that will also likely be used in some sort of military application is what you're seeing here. This black circle here was created by scientists, and it is known as the darkest material in the world. And it's so dark, in fact, that the human eye can't even process it. It's called Vanta Black, and it first came into view a couple years back when a team of British researchers had claimed that they had found or discovered the darkest substance known to humanity, and that this new substance was capable of absorbing nearly 99.96% of ultraviolet, visible, and infrared light. And since then, over the years, this team has been improving this very fascinating substance, and are now claiming that they have perfected it. And I'm showing you different photos here. This stuff is so black that when you put it against a 3D structure, like this sculpture of this head here, you cannot see it, and you cannot tell that it's a 3D structure. It looks flat, or 2D. And this thing is so dark that it's capable of eluding spectrometers. But it's not a paint, it's not a pigment, and it's not a fabric. What it is a special coating that is comprised of millions of tiny carbon nanotubes, with each of these little tubes being around 3,500 times smaller than the average human hair, where every centimeter of a surface treated with Vanta Black contains approximately 1,000 of these tiny nanotubes. And so, of course, they're likely going to be using these in future stealth fighter jets if they haven't already. Because, as I said earlier, this stuff is so dark that the human eye can't process it, because the human eye requires some form of reflected light to process what it's observing. So when this material is put on an object, the human eye can't determine the dimensions of the object, and it looks just like a black 2D cutout. So I thought this was also really cool, and it ties in with this other technology. You know, before too long, we really will have jets that will be invisible, totally invisible in the night sky, thanks to material like this. So pretty crazy. I'll put some links down in the video description so you can read more about this as well. Now, lastly today, I wanted to show you a quick UFO sighting and this was sent to me by a viewer. As of this point, I don't have a location. He didn't mention it. I just got the email a couple hours ago, so I'm trying to get the location back. But the viewer of this said he had just left an eating establishment after having a couple of drinks, came out and saw this triangular formation of lights in the sky rotating. And it was pretty crazy, so go ahead and check this out.
Dude, I can't. There's one on the ground. Dude, they're going in.
Look at this, look at this. There's freaking 4 things that are flying and they're freaking they're in coordination. The one on the top left halted in the air and started going back towards the right one when they were going separate directions. These are not stars. I know what stars are. These are not stars. Anthony! These are not stars.
Dude, what the fuck are those?
Dude, holy Anthony, fuck, these are fucking not. Dude, Anthony, these are not stars, man. I know, I'm astronomy minor. I know these are not stars. Look at these. There's 4 things. They keep changing direction. These are not stars. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dude, fuck. Anthony, these are not stars, man.
Alright, so another strange formation of lights and some pretty funny audio to go along with it. But this was sent over by Dominic Perry. And as I said, I don't have any information yet. I was emailed this. The viewer said that he actually did submit this to MUFON and actually spoke with them multiple times about it. And apparently there's a complete case file. So I am going to email him back, and once I know more, I'll add that information to the video description, so I'll just put a little note down there. But we've seen this type of footage many times before, where we'll see these 3 lights in the sky. Sometimes they'll be accompanied by more lights, but there's usually always a triangular formation. And sometimes these things will rotate together, which kind of rules out Chinese lanterns or stars or anything like that. When these things rotate in formation, that gives you the idea that, you know, they are moving in synchronicity. Is this all part of one large craft? I don't know. It's really strange, so I just wanted to show you guys this real quick before we left today. So be sure to check back and look in the video description over the course of the day, and I will put in the location of this, and then if any of you are from that location, you can send me an email if you have any closer footage. So with that, thank you guys for stopping by today. I have a lot to catch up on. I haven't been posting many videos over the past few days. I've been dealing with some personal things, but I am happy to say that I'm back. We're going to be posting videos pretty much daily, like usual. So be sure to share and subscribe on your way out, and I will see you guys here in just a bit.